Welcome back to the Black and Gold Report. We're joined on the show now by head coach Paul O'Neill of the UNCP baseball team. Welcome back to the show, Coach.
Thanks for having me, Todd.
Before we talk about this year coming up, let's talk about last year. Your team, not just 30 wins for the 8th consecutive year, but misses the Peach Belt Conference tournament. I know we strive for that benchmark of the 30 wins, but do you take successes out of last season, or do you consider it something a building year?
Well, I take the success of we did reach a benchmark, with 30 wins. That was our 8th consecutive season doing that. But not making the conference tournament definitely is not acceptable for us. With everything said about our club last year, I feel like what we did last year was as good as we could have done with what we had as far as the talent that we had, the injuries and so forth. And I think we got as much as we possibly could out of the group that we had last year.
Speaking of the group you had last year, you lost probably one of the more exciting players in the history of this program in Josh Haley. Obviously a multifaceted athlete where he can run, he can hit, he has power. Where were the biggest holes on your team left after last year with graduation, and what guys, in addition to Haley, are going to be the hardest to replace?
Well, two major spots that have to be replaced off of last year's team. Obviously is Josh, and let's face it, you're not going to replace Josh with somebody else. Josh was a special player. What we're trying to do is basically recreate Josh with several players to try to get the production out of several players to do what he did, for us. So, missing Josh off of this year's team, yes, that is a big hole, but it will have to be filled. And also Braxton Lewis, was a mainstay at the back end of the bullpen for us for the last 2 years. He was the closer. He came in and finished a lot of games for us with a high rate of success, and obviously our players had tons of confidence when he came in the game to finish one up for us. So those are the two major areas that have to be addressed going into this spring.
So you hit the ground running for the recruiting season. Talk about what your goals were for recruiting season, and talk about some of the guys that you signed that you expect to help you immediately.
Well, obviously the number one goal was pitching, and I feel like we really addressed that area nicely. We had to replace, we lost 2 of the 3 starters, in our rotation. We had to replace that. Middle relief needed a boosting. The back end of the bullpen, we lost an awful lot there. So we revamped the entire pitching staff basically from a year ago. And that was a major concern for us, and it's an area that we felt like we did an excellent job in recruiting, addressing those needs. Obviously, we lost a lot of main guys. We did lose our center fielder and Josh Haley, our leadoff hitter. We graduated J.J. Williams at shortstop. We graduated Aaron Parnell at second base. We lost Kyle Adair at first base. We lost Brad Bridgman in right field. That's a lot of guys to lose, off of one team. But with all that being said, I feel like we've done an excellent job in recruiting to replace those guys with very good players that are going to step in. I feel like the new guys that are in our program now are going to be able to represent our program in the way it should be represented on the field and play to the standards that UNC Pembroke baseball is expected to play at.
Now, you're one of those coaches that believe wholeheartedly in senior leadership leading to your team's success. You've got 3 of them this year, if not 4. Drew Alford, newcomer Ethan Carter, Aubrey Meadows, and likely redshirt junior Tyler Potter, although he will have another year of eligibility left. How comfortable are you with those guys leading your team this year, and what other leaders have you seen step up during the preseason?
Well, all 4 of those guys have grabbed the leadership roles from the very beginning in the fall. I've been very happy with them. They're definitely, stepping outside their comfort zone a little bit and having to do a little bit more than they did obviously in the past, but they're doing a good job. They're leading through example. And I've been very pleased with them. If they can keep it up, then we're going to be extremely happy with them.
Thanks. At this time, we're going to take our first commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk more with head coach Paul O'Neill.